Imagine stepping onto a battlefield, armed only with a rulebook of honor, expecting your enemy to play by the same noble codes. You follow the conventions, you wait for their move. But while you were busy being noble, your opponent slipped a knife between your ribs, bribed the judge, and had the crowd cheering his victory before you even hit the ground. The onlookers aren't weeping for your broken body, they're applauding his audacity. This isn't some twisted fantasy. This is the raw, unfiltered operating system of our world, the one everyone feels but few dare to articulate. 5 centuries ago, a single man ripped a polite veil off this brutal reality. He dared to whisper the dark truths we bury deep within ourselves, the thoughts that would make us social outcasts if spoken aloud. His name was Machiavelli, and history has branded him a devil, a teacher of evil, the original master of the dark arts of power. But was he truly a monster, or simply the first person honest enough to describe the monster we all secretly know how to be? From childhood, we're fed a comforting lullaby: be good, and goodness will find you. Be honest, and the world will reward your integrity. Machiavelli called this the most dangerous deception ever sold to humanity. He argued that walking into a den of wolves while bleeding like a lamb isn't virtuous, it's suicide. He wasn't advocating for cruelty, he was simply observing the game. Born in Florence, the glittering heart of the Renaissance, he watched as magnificent empires rose in the morning and crumbled into dust by nightfall. Beneath the city's artistic brilliance lay a sewer of ambition, betrayal, and masked intentions. No one was truly loyal. As a diplomat, Machiavelli sat across negotiation tables from kings, popes, and mercenary generals. He saw their polished masks up close. The men who spoke most piously in public were often the ones ordering executions in private. This relentless exposure to hypocrisy forged the worldview he would eventually pour into the most infamous political manuscript ever written, The Prince. In its pages, Machiavelli made a statement so radical it still provokes shivers. A ruler's primary duty isn't to be morally good, it's to be effective. He drove a wedge between private virtue and public success, asking a question that haunts every ambitious soul: who does history choose to remember? The person who played fair and lost everything, or the one who bent the rules, crushed his enemies, and built something that lasted for centuries? Consider the chilling case Machiavelli presents: Agathocles, who rose from a potter's son to seize the throne of Syracuse. Agathocles didn't conquer through glorious battles. He summoned the city's entire senate under the guise of discussing urgent state matters. The moment they were seated, trusting his words, his soldiers emerged and butchered every single one. In one bloody morning, without a war, he became the undisputed master of Syracuse. Was he a good man? Absolutely not. He was a calculating murderer. Yet, Machiavelli points out, Agathocles brought stability, defeated foreign invaders, and secured his people's future. The citizens eventually forgot the blood on the floor because they valued the safety he provided. Machiavelli isn't instructing you to become a killer. He's revealing a profound, uncomfortable truth about human nature. We care far more about outcomes than the methods used to achieve them. Success sanitizes almost every sin. History textbooks call it a masterful political maneuver. When it works, when it fails, they call it treason. This principle echoes far beyond ancient thrones. Walk into any modern corporation. You'll find the hardest worker, the one who never complains, buried in the same cubicle for a decade. Meanwhile, the person who understands optics, who knows how to frame a narrative, who can subtly shift blame onto a colleague while smiling, that person gets the corner office. Machiavelli observed a chasm between the world as it should be and the world as it actually operates. The person who insists on living in the idealized version is simply paving their own path to irrelevance and ruin. At the core of his philosophy lie two powerful concepts, Virtù and Fortuna. But don't mistake Virtù for modern virtue. It has nothing to do with being nice. Virtù is the raw, adaptive energy required to seize opportunity, the ferocity of a lion that can crush an enemy, combined with the cunning of a fox that can smell a trap from a mile away. And Fortuna represents luck, circumstance, the randomness of life. Picture existence as a vast, unpredictable ocean. Fortuna is the sudden, violent storm that can sink even the most experienced sailor. You cannot prevent the storm. But Virtù is the skill to build your ship so sturdy and navigate so shrewdly that when the tempest hits, you don't just survive, you ride the waves while others drown. Luck controls perhaps half your destiny. The remaining half belongs to your preparation and your nerve. This leads to another of Machiavelli's enduring dilemmas. Is it more effective to be loved or feared? Ideally, a leader would be both, but in the real world, that balance is almost impossible to maintain. Forced to choose, Machiavelli unflinchingly advises, choose fear. Love is a fickle currency, tethered entirely to self-interest. People will adore you as long as you feed their needs. The moment your usefulness expires, so does their affection. Fear, however, is a reliable chain. The anticipation of consequences prevents betrayal. But here, Machiavelli draws a razor-thin line, one that separates the shrewd leader from the hated tyrant. Fear is useful, hatred is fatal. Never provoke hatred by stealing what people hold sacred, their property, their family's honor. People may eventually forgive cruelty, but they will never forgive the theft of their home or the violation of those they love. Hatred breeds conspiracies, and conspiracies end reigns. When it comes to public image, Machiavelli's insights seem almost prescient for the age of social media. He argued that you don't actually need to possess qualities like compassion, honesty, or piety. What you absolutely must do is appear to possess them. The public judges solely by what they see. No one investigates the soul behind the mask. Every politician who preaches family values while hiding scandals, every influencer who projects authenticity while manufacturing every moment, they are all students of Machiavelli, whether they know it or not. He decoded the blueprint of public relations centuries before the first camera was invented. Yet, here lies the most profound and tragic irony of his story. The man who wrote the ultimate instruction manual for acquiring power never held it himself. When the Medici family returned to power in Florence, they viewed Machiavelli with suspicion. He was arrested, tortured, strung up by his wrists until his shoulders dislocated, and then cast out into exile. Alone in a small farmhouse, stripped of purpose, he wrote The Prince. He dedicated it to the very Medici ruler who had imprisoned him, desperately hoping for a return to political life. He never got the job. And perhaps the reason is obvious. Would you trust a man who has just published a book detailing every possible way to lie, manipulate, and betray? A magician who reveals his secrets is no longer useful. He's a threat. Machiavelli's ultimate error wasn't in understanding power, it was in publishing the rulebook. He spoke the unspeakable truth, and the world punished him for his honesty. This Western perspective on power finds a fascinating echo in Indian philosophy, specifically in the ancient works of Acharya Chanakya. Nearly 2 millennia before Machiavelli, Chanakya's Arthashastra laid out startlingly similar principles for statecraft. Chanakya preached the policies of Sama, Dhamma, Beda, and danda. He advised rulers to employ spies, to be ruthless when necessary, to prioritize the stability of the state above all. The crucial difference lies in purpose and outcome. Chanakya deployed these tactics in service of a grand vision, the unification of India against foreign invasion. And he succeeded, placing his disciple Chandragupta on the throne. Machiavelli, however, was perceived as advocating power for its own sake, detached from any higher moral purpose. He was the theorist, Chanakya was the practitioner. And the practitioner was embraced, while the theorist was cast out. You can dismiss Machiavelli as a cynical villain, a dark psychologist obsessed with humanity's worst impulses. But you cannot ignore him. He is the neighbor who yanks open your bedroom curtains at noon, forcing you to see the glaring sun you've been pretending doesn't exist. He isn't telling you to become a beast. He's telling you to acknowledge the beast that already lives within you, to keep it chained, but to know exactly how to unleash it when the moment demands survival. The world is not a fairy tale. It is a field of battle, a Kurukshetra where intentions clash and only results survive. If you sit cross-legged, chanting verses of goodness while the battle rages around you, you will be trampled. Machiavelli's philosophy may taste bitter. It may offend your sense of how things ought to be. But its uncomfortable power lies in a single undeniable fact: it works. And that, more than anything, is why his name still echoes through the corridors of power, 5 centuries after he was silenced. If this glimpse behind the curtain resonated with you, then you'll likely appreciate our deeper dive into another of Machiavelli's unsettling truths, specifically how excessive goodness can become a trap that destroys you. Check that video out next. Thank you for watching Deeply Wise.